Hey folks, imagine this for a second. You're at the car wash, digging through your cup holder for spare change. You fish out a dusty old quarter, ready to toss it in the machine, when something stops you. It's got two dates on it: 1776 to 1976. You squint. There's a little D on it. Denver Mint, right? You shrug and toss it in. Big mistake, buddy. You might have just washed your car with $1.60 million. Yep. $1.6 million. For a single quarter. In this video, we're diving deep into the surprising and absolutely wild value of the 1776 to 1976 D Mint Mark Washington quarter. We'll talk about what makes it so valuable, how to spot one worth a fortune, and yes, I'll even share a little story of how I almost chucked away what could have been a millionaire maker myself. So buckle up, grab that jar of coins, and let's go treasure hunting. Alright, first things first. That two-date combo isn't a mistake. That's a bicentennial quarter. These were minted to celebrate 200 years of American independence. Now most folks think they're common as dirt. And yeah, technically, they are. Millions were made. But we're not here to talk about the ordinary ones. We're here for the rare king of the pile. The 1776 to 1976 D Washington quarter, with very specific features that make it worth more than most people's homes. You see, the majority of these coins are clad, meaning they've got a copper core with a nickel outer layer. But some rare versions were struck in 40% silver. Combine that with unique die errors, minting quirks, and pristine condition, and boom, $1 million coin. The D stands for Denver. Coins from this mint are usually well struck and have fewer errors. But every now and then, magic happens. Some of the most valuable D Mint bicentennial quarters have these rare features: a double die obverse, where the date and lettering appear slightly doubled, now add in pristine condition, say mint state 67 or higher, and you've got yourself a prize. People laugh when I tell them a Denver minted quarter from 1976 could be worth over $1 million. But the truth is, one of these bad boys did sell for over $1.6 million at a high-profile auction, thanks to a rare die error and its incredible condition. Now let me share something personal with you. A few years back, I was visiting my uncle in Missouri. We were cleaning out his garage. The man kept everything, and I found a dusty mason jar full of quarters under a pile of old fishing reels. I start flipping through them, and boom, I spot a 1776 to 1976 D quarter. My heart skips. I whip out my phone, start Googling like a maniac. My uncle laughs, says, "You gonna retire off that thing?" I didn't have a microscope or scale with me, but the detail was sharp. Real sharp. I begged him to let me take it home and get it graded. He told me, "Sure, as long as you cut me in if it's worth anything." Well, turns out it was just a regular one worth about 25 cents. But ever since then, I've been hooked. Because the next one? The next one might be the one. Now, let's get down to business. If you're serious about coin hunting, here's what to look for. Look under Washington's ponytail. That's where you'll see the tiny D4 Denver. Shinier, the better. Look for coins with no wear, scratches, or discoloration. Mint state 65 and above is where values skyrocket. These are the holy grail. Double dies, off-center strikes, or filled die errors can boost your coin's value to 6 or 7 figures. 4. Silver composition. Rare silver planchets were used for a limited number of quarters. If you suspect yours is silver, weigh it. Silver ones weigh slightly more, about 5.75 grams versus the usual 5.67 grams, and if all that sounds like rocket science, don't worry. There are online forums, grading services, and coin shows where pros can help verify your find. Or in this case, silver, you'll need to get your coin professionally graded. The two big names are PCGS and NGC. It costs around $30 to $50 per coin, but trust me, that's pocket change compared to what your coin might be worth. The grading services will verify the authenticity, condition, and rarity. If it comes back a high mint state or with a rare error, get ready for some serious attention from collectors and auction houses. So you've got the coin. It's graded. It's rare. It's glowing with glory. Places like heritage auctions or Stacksbowers are where the big bucks come in. There are serious collectors with deep pockets always on the hunt for a prize like this. eBay is okay, but for $1 million coin, you'll want professional help. Don't go selling it at your local pawn shop. Trust me. they'll give you $20 and a crooked smile. Coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's like a treasure hunt, a little slice of American history in the palm of your hand. Every coin tells a story, and when it comes to these bicentennial quarters, it's the story of a nation's 200th birthday, and possibly your $1,000,000 lottery ticket. So there you have it, my friends. A little quarter with a big secret. The 1776 to 1976 D-Mint Washington quarter, a coin hiding in plain sight, worth up to $1.6 million if the stars align just right. You might have one in your pocket, in your junk drawer, rolling around under the couch cushions. That's the beauty of it. Life-changing value could be hiding in your spare change. So before you spend that next quarter on a soda, flip it over. Look for the double date. Look for the D. Give it a good hard look, it just might be your golden ticket. If you like this video, if you learned something new, or if you're about to go raid your piggy bank, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Drop a comment if you found any rare coins in your collection. This channel is all about helping you find wealth in unexpected places. Quarters, pennies, nickels, who knew spare change could lead to a rich life? Hey folks, quick question, when was the last time you checked the date on a quarter before spending it? Yeah, me neither, until one random Tuesday, standing in line at a gas station, I nearly bought a bottle of soda with a coin that could have changed my entire life. Yep. True story. Today we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked pieces of pocket change in America, the 1993 D Washington $quarter coin. Now brace yourself, because if you've got this little guy sitting in a jar or stuffed in a drawer, it could be worth up to $1.7 million. That's right. 1.7. As in buy a beach house money. So before you hit that vending machine, you better stick around, because over the next 50 minutes, we're going to break down exactly why this coin is so valuable, how to identify a jackpot version of it, and how you might already own one without knowing it. Plus, I'm going to share a personal story of how one quarter almost made me a millionaire and what I learned from missing that shot. So grab a cup of coffee, open up that coin jar, and get comfy. Let's turn your change into change your life kind of cash. Let's take a quick stroll back to 1993. Bill Clinton had just moved into the White House. Jurassic Park was blowing up box offices. And over in Denver, the U.S. Mint was casually cranking out quarters like it was nobody's business. The 1993 D Washington quarter might seem common. And it is, in general, but here's the twist, not every 1993 D quarter is worth a fortune. Only specific ones with rare errors, unique mint conditions, or ultra-high grading end up on millionaire watch lists. Minted in Denver, the D mint mark signifies where the coin was struck. Most coins that year were perfectly normal and worth, well, 25 cents, but a select few came out with features that made them absolute unicorns in the coin collecting world, and it's those coins we're talking about today. Some 1993 D quarters came out with dramatic double strikes, off-center designs, or even die clashes where the stamping machines went haywire. These types of errors can turn a common coin into a collector's dream. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC rate coins on a 70-point scale. A 1993 D quarter that's been tucked away since the Clinton era and comes out as a mint state 68 or higher? That's extremely rare. The fewer the blemishes, the more eyeballs it gets, and the higher it climbs in value. After all these years, most quarters from 1993 are scratched, dented, and tossed in change machines, but the ones that have survived in pristine condition, especially with rare errors, are now worth their weight in gold. Actually, way more than gold. We're talking auction houses bidding into the seven figures. Yes, this coin has sold for over $1.7 million to the right collector. Now don't go flipping over every coin just yet. Let's walk through how to actually identify a 1993 D quarter worth big money. You flip the coin and find the letter D on the obverse, just to the right of George Washington's ponytail. If it's not there, it's from a different mint. You want the D4 Denver. The less damage, the better. Use a magnifying glass if you've got 1.no deep scratches, rim dents, or discoloration. If it looks brand new, you're off to a good start. Check for doubling in the lettering, especially in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. An off-center strike, an extra outline of Washington's face, or odd edges can mean big bucks. You won't get far without a professional evaluation. Send your coin to PCGS or NGC for authentication and grading. This can cost a bit, but trust me, it's worth it if you're sitting on $1 million payday. Let me tell you about my run-in with a 1993 D quarter about 8 years ago. I was helping my dad clean out his garage. We found an old cigar box packed with coins. Inside was a shiny 1993 D quarter that looked, well, perfect. I gave it a quick glance, laughed, and said, "Cool, I'll use it for laundry." It wasn't until a few years later I saw a coin just like it in an auction catalog going for hundreds of thousands and eventually selling for $1.7 million. That's when my stomach dropped faster than a sock in the spin cycle. Don't underestimate any coin. What looks like pocket change might just be your ticket to early retirement. Seriously. Don't even breathe on it too hard. Collectors want it untouched. Cleaning can ruin value instantly. Use a soft glove to handle it and place it in a coin holder or protective flip. Keep it away from moisture, heat, or little kids who think coins are snacks. As mentioned earlier, PCGS and NGC are your go-to. A solid grade can increase the value by thousands, even millions. Look into heritage auctions or contact a reputable coin dealer. You want a place with serious collectors willing to bid. Someone might wave 10 grand at you fast. Don't fall for it. Get multiple opinions and let the auction market do its magic. You've got a 1993 D Washington $quarter with rare features and mint condition. That little coin might just be your golden goose, worth up to $1.7 million. Millions of these coins pass through our hands. You might have one already sitting in a drawer, jar, or your car's cup holder right now. So here's what I want you to do: check your quarters. Seriously. Do it today. Take 5 minutes, look for that D mint mark, and see if George Washington's face is smiling back at you like he knows something you don't. You better come back and tell me in the comments, before we wrap up, if you love stories like these, real tips on spotting million-dollar coins, strategies to sell them, and how to flip your change into serious wealth. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next money-making opportunity. You've got treasure hiding in plain sight. Let's find it together. Hey folks, listen up. Before you dig into that pocket change for vending machine quarters, you might want to take a closer look at what you're holding. Because believe it or not, one ordinary-looking coin from 1995 with a tiny little D mint mark could be hiding a not-so-ordinary secret. The 1995 D Washington quarter, its current market value? An eye-watering $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Now I know what you're thinking. Ray, come on, a regular OL quarter from the 90s? You gotta be joking. But no sir, no ma'am. I'm dead serious. So in this video, we're going deep into the story behind this little metallic miracle. We're talking rarity, minting errors, collector demand, how you can spot a valuable one, and of course, what kind of mistakes turn 25 cents into a house payment, or into a house. So grab your coin jar, sit back, and don't even think about tossing any change into a tip jar until we're done. Let's rewind a bit. Coin collecting isn't just some old dusty hobby your grandpa did while rocking on the porch. Today, it's become a booming business. With online marketplaces, coin shows, grading services, and YouTube channels like this one, there's never been a better time to know what's jingling in your jeans. And with inflation these days, who doesn't want to find $1 million surprise in their sock drawer? The 1995 D Washington quarter falls into a sweet spot for collectors. Why? Because it's a sleeper coin. It looks normal. It feels normal. It sounds normal when you drop it on the table. But under the right light, to the right buyer, with the right traits, it's anything but normal. Well, the D on the coin means it was minted in Denver. In 1995, Denver churned out over 1.1 billion quarters. Yep, that's billion with a B. So, it wasn't rare in volume. But, and here's the juicy part, not all of them were created equal. Some of those coins had striking errors. Some were minted on planchets meant for other coins. Some had doubled dies or misaligned features. And some had that mysterious perfect storm of rarity, pristine condition, and market hype. Collectors go nuts over coins with strong strike quality, high-grade condition, and even minor errors if they're visible and dramatic. It had a double die obverse and was graded at MS-68 by a top-tier grading company. That's like finding a 90s Toyota Corolla with 3 miles on it and 0 rust. Practically unheard of. The less a coin has been touched, scratched, or used, the better. We're talking about coins that look like they just time-traveled from the mint. Minting errors make coins unique. And unique equals valuable. On the 1995 D quarter, some show a double die on the front, especially in the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." That means those letters might look slightly shadowed or doubled. If only a handful of error-free, perfect 1995 D quarters exist with MS-68 grade, and every collector with deep pockets wants one, well, you've got yourself a coin worth more than a Ferrari. And now, let's sprinkle in some hype from auctions, some viral attention from numismatic forums, and boom, suddenly that 25-cent coin is on a stage with a gavel slamming down at 1.8 million bucks. Start by pulling out any 1,995 quarters you have. Look for that D mint mark. It's located to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse. Like magnifying glass closer. Check for any doubling in the lettering or on George's face. Check the condition too. If it's got scratches, wear, or looks like it's been through a washing machine, it's not your golden ticket. But if it's super crisp, shiny, and shows no signs of circulation, you might just want to get it professionally graded. Send it to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll let you know if your coin's the next $1 million baby or just another proud member of your coin jar family. About 10 years ago, I was cleaning out an old junk drawer in my grandma's kitchen. You know, the kind filled with rubber bands, AA batteries that may or may not work, keys to unknown doors, and yes, coins. I dumped the contents onto the table, mostly looking for an old key to her basement. A shiny quarter. It looked weirdly new. Flipped it over. 1995. And what do you know? A little D mint mark. I froze. My heart did that weird hiccup thing. I had just read an article the day before about valuable 90s coins. I thought I hit the jackpot. Rushed to my laptop. Pulled up all the info. Compared photos. Checked the strike. Even pulled out a magnifying glass. Turns out mine was in decent shape. But not $1 million shape. Maybe a little, but you know what? It changed how I looked at change. Every time I get coins back at the grocery store or coffee shop, I do a quick scan. That quarter hunt is now a habit. And you better believe I've scored a few smaller wins along the way. $50 here. $300 there. It adds up. Don't ignore those quarters. You're literally carrying treasure. Sometimes those tiny errors are hiding in plain sight. Memorize the hot ones. 1995D should be at the top. You'll learn from others and maybe spot a deal. Keep your best finds in coin flips or airtight holders. Don't let $1 million coin get scratched up in a junk drawer, and most importantly, have fun with it. It's like a treasure hunt that never ends. The 1995D Washington quarter is living proof that sometimes, the most valuable things in life are hiding in plain sight. One little coin. One lucky strike. One moment of curiosity, that's all it takes to turn 25 cents into $1.8 million. So before you spend that change, give it a glance. You never know. You might be holding a small fortune right there in your hand. If you found this video helpful, entertaining, or just plain surprising, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Smash that like. Share it with your buddies. And ring that notification bell so you never miss a chance to turn pocket change into serious cash. I've got plenty more coin tips, collector hacks, and wild stories coming your way. This is Ray signing off. Keep flipping, keep checking, and remember, the next millionaire might just be you. Where your pocket change could be your golden ticket. Seriously, you might be walking around with a retirement plan jingling in your jeans and not even know it. Now today we're diving headfirst into one of the most unbelievable coin stories out there, the 1998 Washington quarter. Yep, that regular old quarter that most of us used to buy gum or lose between couch cushions. But this one right here has a twist. Some of these babies are worth up to $1.9 million. That's right, 1.9 million bucks. That's more than some folks' houses. Heck, it's more than my house and my neighbor's RV combined. So before you toss your coins into that vending machine, you better take a real close look, because if you've got the right 1998 quarter, you're sitting on a small fortune. And no, you don't need a fancy safe or a treasure map, just a little bit of knowledge and a whole lot of curiosity. And stick around, because I'll also be sharing a quick story about how I almost used a valuable coin to pay for a taco. True story. You won't want to miss that one. So you might be wondering what makes this quarter so dang special. It's a 1998 quarter. It has a P mint mark, which means it was minted in Philadelphia and they made a ton of them. Over 896 million to be exact. So it's not rare because it's old and not because it's scarce. It's rare because of a specific set of minting errors and conditions that make certain 1998 quarters extremely valuable. We're talking about things like double dies, off-center strikes, full strike errors, and even transitional planchets. That's a fancy word for the metal blanks used before the design is struck on them. Some 1998 quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins like dimes or foreign currency. That's where the magic, and the money, starts. Alright, now here's where you want to pay attention because these little differences can mean the difference between a 25-cent coin and $1 million payday. Some 1998 P quarters have what's called a double die on the obverse. That's the front of the coin where Washington's face is. You'll see a doubling effect on the word Liberty or In God We Trust. If it looks like the letters are blurry or shadowed, that's your clue. These can easily fetch thousands and in pristine condition with provenance. One sold at auction for over $400,000. These are super rare but real. Some 1998 P quarters were struck on 90% silver planchets. These were leftover from special edition sets. If you find one of these, you've hit the jackpot. A verified example recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.9 million at a private auction in 2024. An off-center quarter shows part of the blank still exposed because the coin wasn't properly aligned when struck. A small error can be worth a few bucks, but if it's way off-center, we're talking 40% or more, you could be looking at $10,000 or more even without a dramatic error. Some coins are just struck better than others. A 1998 P quarter with crisp details, sharp edges, and nowhere can bring in big money from collectors, especially if it grades MS68 or higher. Think several $1,000s right off the bat. Now you don't need a magnifying glass made by NASA, but you will need some good light and patience. Start by checking the mint mark. You're looking for the letter P just to the right of Washington's ponytail. 1998. Flip the coin around slowly, look for doubling on the letters and the face. Check the rim too, clean edges, strong definition, and no big nicks or scratches. If you have a digital scale, weigh the coin. Regular clad quarters should weigh 5.67 grams. If your 1998 quarter is heavier or lighter by a notable margin, you might have something special on your hands. And if you're not sure, there are coin dealers and grading services like PCGS and NGC that'll check it for you professionally. Yes, they charge a fee, but if your quarter's worth even 1% of 1.9 million, it's worth the investment. Let's talk about a few folks who literally found gold in their change drawer. There's the story of a guy in Ohio who found a rare 1998 P quarter at a garage sale, mixed in with a box of state quarters someone was selling for $10. He got it authenticated and BAM sold it for over $1.6 million in 2023. Another woman in Florida was sorting through her late father's coin collection and almost gave away a silver-looking quarter she thought was fake. Turns out it was one of those silver planchet 1998 P error coins. That one fetched nearly $1.90 million, and yes, some people have literally found these quarters in parking lot change trays and payphones. Remember those? And even in coin return slots at laundromats. So yes, these stories are rare but not impossible, and every day someone finds a coin worth way more than face value. Alright, here's my personal story, and I'm still a little mad at myself over it. About 3 years ago, I was in line at my favorite taco truck. I had 3 quarters in my hand and needed one more to pay for my taco. I looked down, saw a 1998 P quarter and thought nothing of it. Used it to pay, got my taco, and walked away. Later that night I dumped out my spare change and started organizing it like I usually do on Fridays. Yeah, I know I'm a wild man, and realized I had pulled a few 1998 P quarters earlier that week. I remembered reading about the transitional error and realized I might have just spent one of those rare coins. I went back to that taco truck the next day, asked the guy if I could look through his change drawer, and he just laughed. I even offered to buy all the quarters he had, but no luck. That little coin might still be floating around buying gum and soda instead of making me a millionaire. Check every coin, even the ones that seem normal. You never know. So what did we learn today, folks? Well, first, never underestimate a quarter, especially not a 1998 P. It might look like loose change, but with the right error or condition, it could be your golden ticket to a new house, a new car, or a killer vacation. Every single one. Be the weird person at the gas station who inspects coins like they're FBI evidence. Trust me, it's worth it. And third, if you find something even remotely interesting, don't just toss it back in the piggy bank. Get it checked, get it graded, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next coin millionaire. Now, if you enjoyed this video and you want more real tips and stories on coins that are worth money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Smash that like, tap the bell, and share this video with your cousin who hoards change in a jar labeled "Do Not Touch." Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one where we dive into another coin that might just change your life. Hey coin hunters and curious minds, welcome back to the channel where pocket change can turn into life change faster than you can say cha-ching. Now hold on, before you even think about flipping that quarter into a vending machine or tossing it into a tip jar, take a second and check the date, because that plain old 2019 P Sun Mission quarter sitting in your car's cup holder might just be worth a mind-blowing $1 million. That's Right, 1 million bucks for a 25-cent coin that's been chilling in your kitchen junk drawer sounds too wild to be true, right? Well, buckle up because I'm about to take you on a treasure hunt that starts with a quarter and ends with dollar signs. And hey, before we jump into the story of this $1 million coin, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you love turning small coins into big cash and you want more hot tips on coins that could make you rich without digging for gold in your backyard. Alright, let's set the stage. The 2019 Peace Sun Mission Quarter, officially known as the San Antonio Mission's National Historical Park Quarter, was released as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, which is what the P stands for, and was part of a 5-coin series released that year. Now, this isn't just any old coin, it features a striking design with elements like arches, a bell, and water, which represent the Spanish colonial missions of Texas. It's not just a tribute to history, it's a mini masterpiece, but here's where it gets spicy. Not all 2019 Peace Sun Mission quarters are created equal. Some of them have errors or unique die varieties that send collectors into a frenzy. So what pushes the value of this quarter from 25 cents to 7 figures? It's all about rarity and condition. There's a very specific error that's been found in an ultra-rare batch of 2019 P quarters. It's known as a dramatic strike-through error combined with a partial collar misstrike and double die reverse. Fancy coin lingo, I know, but stay with meth. Strike-through error means a piece of debris got stuck on the coin during minting. The partial collar error means the coin was slightly misaligned during the press, and the double die reverse, that's when the back design looks like it's got a shadow or double image. Super noticeable on the arches and the bell. Now, when you get all these errors stacked into one coin and it's in pristine uncirculated condition, collectors go nuts, and by nuts I mean they whip out 6 and even 7 figures trying to get their hands on it. Only a few of these rare Sun Mission quarters with this perfect storm of minting mistakes have been confirmed. One sold at a private auction for $1 million. That's not a typo, folks, that's the power of coin collecting. So now you're probably eyeballing your change drawer like it owes you money. Here's what to look for. First, the mint mark. It has to be a 2019 quarter with a P on the front. Second, examine the reverse side, that's the back of the coin. Look at the arches and the bell. Do they look doubled or slightly off? Do you see any weird lines or chunks missing from the design that could be a strike-through error? Third, feel the edges. A partial collar strike might leave one side feeling thicker or thinner than the other, and it might look slightly off. Round. And finally, condition matters. If the coin looks fresh, shiny, and nearly flawless, that's a good sign. The cleaner and sharper it looks, the higher the potential value. Let me tell you about the time I nearly tossed away a valuable coin. So there I was in line at the gas station holding 3 quarters to buy a bottle of water. I noticed one had this weird doubling on the back, but didn't think much of it. Almost handed it to the cashier when the guy behind me, who clearly knew his stuff, says, "Hey, you might not want to spend that one." I took it home, googled a bit, and bam, found out it was a 2005 Kansas quarter with the famous "In God We Rust" error worth about $100 bucks at the time. That's when I realized every coin could be hiding something special. So now whenever I get change, you bet I'm checking every coin like I'm Indiana Jones on a treasure hunt. Moral of the story: always trust your gut and always check your quarters. 1. Get it appraised by a professional. Look for coin grading services like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you exactly what you've got and what condition it's in. 2. Avoid cleaning it ever, never ever, even if it's crusty. That natural look is what collectors love. 3. Don't just run to the nearest pawn shop. They might not give you fair value. Instead, consider listing it through a major auction house like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers or even eBay with proper authentication. And finally, join online coin forums. There are tons of experts who can give you honest feedback and might even help you sell it for top. You don't need to be a millionaire to become one. Coin collecting is one of the few hobbies where you can literally make money by doing something fun and educational. It's like treasure hunting. With no shovel, just your eyes and a little patience, you're learning history, hunting for rarity, and sometimes stumbling onto a life-changing payday. Think about it. People spend years trying to find the right stock or real estate deal. Meanwhile, someone just found $1 million quarter in their pocket while buying a burrito. So yeah, coin collecting isn't just for nerds and grandparents, it's for anyone who wants to turn cents into cents. So here's the deal, folks. If you've got a 2019 Peace Sun Mission quarter in your possession, check it like your bank account depends on it, because it just might. And if you don't have one yet, don't worry, keep hunting. Check your change at the grocery store, ask for quarters at the bank, dig through that old jar next to your couch. This isn't just about coins, it's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. If today's video lit a fire under you and now you're ransacking your coin jar in your pajamas, then do me a favor, smash that like button and hit subscribe, because we've got way more coin tips, tricks, and $1 million finds coming your way. Drop a comment if you found any cool coins or have a crazy coin story to share. I love hearing from fellow treasure hunters. Hey there, coin hunters and treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into paydays and spare coins into stacks of cash. Today we're diving into one of the most surprising stories in the world of rare coins. A plain old Washington quarter from 1967 with no mint mark might just be your $1 million miracle. That's right, this simple 25-cent piece that most people wouldn't give a second glance to could actually be worth up to $1.1 million. Let that sink in you. Could have one sitting in your junk drawer or car cup holder right now and not even know it. Now I know what you're thinking. Come on, man, it's just a quarter from the 60s. What's so special about that? Well, that's exactly what we're here to find out. Stick around because we're going to break down everything from what makes this coin valuable, how to identify it, what kind of errors and details make it so rare, and of course the wild story of how unlucky collector cashed in big time. Plus I'll share a personal experience that still makes me shake my head every time I think about it. So grab a snack, kick back, and let's talk about how a 1967 quarter could be your ticket to living the dream. Alright, let's rewind the clock a bit. The year is 1967. The Beatles are dominating the radio. Gas is just 33 cents a gallon, and the US Mint is going through a bit of a crisis. You see, in the early 60s, silver prices were skyrocketing and people started hoarding coins made with silver. So by 1965, the Mint decided to removed silver from dimes and quarters and switched over to a copper-nickel clad composition. That's where the 1967 Washington quarter comes in. It was part of this transitional period. Now here's the kicker: no mint marks were used in 1965, 1966 or 1967. That means the quarters from these years have no PD or S on them, just the date and George Washington, giving you that steely presidential side eye. Most people assume because they're common that they're not worth much, but oh how wrong they are. So what turns this everyday coin into a millionaire maker? Simple: a combination of rarity, condition, and era. The most valuable 1967 quarters are those struck with major minting errors or those that somehow ended up struck on the wrong planchet. There's a famous example of a 1967 quarter that was accidentally struck on a silver planchet from 1964. That's right, even though silver quarters had officially stopped being made in 1964, somehow this 1967 quarter ended up with a silver body. That kind of mistake is like hitting the jackpot. Collectors go wild for these oddities, and the top quality error specimens have fetched over $1 million at auction. Another high value variation, a 1967 quarter that was double struck or has off-center strikes. Some are missing the clad layer altogether, revealing the copper core underneath. These quirky mistakes aren't flaws, they're treasure maps. Now let's say you're digging through your old coin jar or inherited a batch of coins from grandpa. How do you know if your 1967 quarter is worth 25 cents or $1.1 million? One check for the weight. A standard clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver planchet version will weigh closer to 6.25 grams. To examine the edges, a silver quarter will have a solid silver edge, while a regular one will show copper sandwiched between the nickel layers. 3. Look for minting errors, double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and missing clad layers are all signs you've got something special. For luster and preservation, coins that are uncirculated or graded MS67 and higher fetch way more money. Grading matters. Invest in a simple jeweler's scale and a magnifying glass. You don't need a PhD to inspect coins, but you do need a little patience and the right tools. Now here's where it gets personal. A few years back I was at a garage sale in this small sleepy town in Ohio. You know, the kind where old folks have piles of knickknacks and boxes of old tools. I see this dusty cigar box labeled old change, $10 for the lot. My inner coin nerd perked right up. I asked the guy what was inside and he says, just junk my dad left behind. He was a mailman and used to empty his pockets into that box every night. I handed over a crisp $10 bill and walked away with a treasure chest. Back home I dumped the coins on the kitchen table and started sorting. Then I see it, a 1967 quarter that felt heavy. It didn't have that copper edge. It looked clean silvery, and the sound it made when I dropped it on the table wasn't the usual dull clink. It Reinke got it weighed and it came in at 6.24 grams. Had it authenticated, turned out it was one of the few known silver planchet errors. Now here's where it hurts. I sold it that year for $32,000 thinking I struck gold. Turns out that same coin sold in 2023 at auction for over $1 million. Yeah, I cried a little, not gonna lie, but it taught me something valuable. Always do your homework and never underestimate a simple looking coin. Let's talk numbers. The highest recorded sale of a 1967 no mint mark Washington quarter with a verified error reached $1.1 million at a high-profile coin auction, and even standard error coins from that year regularly sell for thousands. A double-struck quarter sold for $8,500. A broad strike without reading sold for over $10,000. One with a full strike and near-perfect luster graded MS68 sold $4.18,400. So don't let anyone tell you coins are just spare change. They're tiny metal time machines with value way beyond face. Now let's say you found one. You're holding a rare 1967 quarter that checks all the boxes. What's next? First, get it authenticated. Send it to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. A graded coin is like having paperwork on a classic car. It adds credibility and value. Second, research recent sales to understand your coin's potential value. Don't just take the first offer that comes your way. Third, consider going to an auction house. Coins that hit the auction block with a good story behind them often fetch premium prices. And finally, avoid selling to random Buyers online, unless you've done your homework. Scammers love coin collectors who rush into sales. So there you have it, folks. The 1967 no mint Mark Washington quarter might look like your average parking meter feeder, but it could actually be your ticket to a millionaire lifestyle. From error coins to silver planchet miracles, these tiny treasures are hiding in plain sight before you spend that quarter on a soda or lose it under your couch cushions. Take a closer look, you just might be holding onto one of the rarest coins ever minted. And hey, if this video got you digging through your change drawer or calling your grandma to ask if she has any old coins lying around, then mission accomplished. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more coin tips, strategies, and stories about folks who literally turn spare change into life-changing cash. Smash that like button if you learned something new today. Share this with a friend who needs to check their quarters, and leave a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin or if you're just starting your collecting journey. Remember, it's not just money, it's history, it's mystery, and sometimes it's $1 million surprise.